Good evening, everybody. It's the Irregulars show with Matt and Chris. And yes, you just got Matt right now, waiting on Chris as usual. He's a little bit behind. You know how it is. He just, when you're a superstar, you just know who you are. And it just makes a difference to have that superstar status like Chris Priester does. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Yeah, while I got Michelle chiming in, we're just going to talk about it. Everybody, we've been sending out posts and letting everybody know about VB20 Studios in Delray. It's the newest technology in working out. You wear one of these suits and it sends electric stimulation to the muscles, and it's an amazing workout. It's only 20 minutes. It's been in Europe for years. So this is something that's been around for a long time. Everybody knows if you go to the chiropractor and you get your back worked on, or you have a part of the body that's bothering you, and the chiropractor uses electric stimulation, very similar to what the suit does. And you put the suit on and you go through a workout, and it takes 20 minutes. And the whole premise is that you get a much better workout in less time than you would if you went to the gym for an hour and a half. And we all know that going to the gym today is not the easiest thing in the world. Look, guys are gawking, women are gawking, everybody's like into their own thing, and some people aren't, and getting on a machine. These classes, you're about 8 people to a class. You can also get one-to-one workouts. So it's a really cool place. It's going to be open in the heart of Delray, right on Federal Highway, VB20 Studios. We'll be having some grand opening specials. We'll be having a huge grand opening party. We're going to have our soft opening probably around November sometime. And then we will have our grand opening. It looks like the grand opening, and look out for this, will be 1/20/20. Michael Weintraub joining us. Hey, Michael. And it's just going to be a fun place to work out and a great environment. How was that Who concert, Michael? I heard they were great. I know Roger Daltrey, they canceled a couple of shows, and then I guess he made a comeback. Here he is, superstar himself, making a grand entrance. Chris Priester, the teacher.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's Columbus Day. He's tearing the place up.
How the hell?
It's Columbus Day, and everybody knows about Christopher. There he is.
But
what?
We were all off.
But the schools were off in Broward.
No, we weren't off today because we were off last week.
Okay, for the Jewish holiday.
We're Jewish.
That's right.
That's right.
But you know what? A lot of the schools are not taking off Columbus Day.
Yeah, no.
And a lot of the banks were open. Even Delray was open in a lot of the cities. I don't know if this is true, and if somebody could help me with my history here, but Christopher Columbus supposedly was not the nicest guy in the world.
Fraud.
He was really not a nice person, and supposedly was a slave owner as well, and was a brutal individual. So
that's okay, they all were. Those are the best people.
Really?
We love those guys. They make our world go around.
Helen Smith joining us.
If we didn't have tyrants like Columbus, we wouldn't have history.
So as I was saying before,
Yes,
VB20 Studios,
yes.
Come check us out. It's going to be awesome. Hey, Jack Turbo, how you doing, Uncle Jack? I've known Jack all my life.
Hey, Uncle Jack. Sounds nice.
So, hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. It's a Monday night, 7 o'clock, the Irregular show. Matt Posner, Chris Priester, the teacher.
Yes.
It's on your page because you already chimed in. And everybody, thank you for sharing the show. We really appreciate it. We had some great viewership. I miss you guys. Yeah, we've been back for a couple of Tina, hey, joining us. Hey, so yeah, a lot of fun. Hey, Helen, thanks for chiming in with us again. We miss you too. A lot going on. And where I want to start off with is Michelle and I and some of our friends, about 5 or 6 of us, integrated a show on Saturday night.
My black friends called me Sunday morning and said, Chris, I saw some white guys at the club, and I think they were your buddies. I texted them and told them.
Oh, really?
I told
Lisa Curran joining us.
I told them the white people there are my friends.
Well, so you kind of.
I kind of did. I said the white guys aren't friends.
And we had fun. It was really fun. And I think you're going to be performing there.
Yeah, in December.
It's a very interesting place. Sherrod Nelson joining us. Hey, Sherrod.
Yeah, buddy.
Very interesting situation. The guy has a soul food restaurant. And he's got this main menu, which I kind of knew he had. But Saturday night, he only had like a handful. He had conch fritters. And I got to say, the salad was a lot to be desired. Your lovely wife, Norma, joining us. And it had a lot to be desired. The chicken wings were just okay. The conch fritters were actually delicious. The French fries needed some work. But when you're going to a soul food restaurant as a white person,
yes,
there's three things that are on your list.
Oh.
Number one is the fried okra.
Ooh.
Gotta have you some fried okra.
People,
okay?
listen.
Gotta have you some collard greens.
Yes.
Right? And then it's a tie between pigeon peas and rice or the mac and cheese.
Ooh. Now let me tell you.
Yes.
It's funny you just said this.
Go ahead.
The vegans are trying to screw up the damn soul food.
No, forget about that. No, that you can never screw up.
No, you can't be putting that pork in the collard green.
Well, this guy put smoked turkey in his stuff. Because we asked him, I said, do you put the pork? And he says, no. About 6 years ago, we started using the turkey.
I'm gonna tell you something. He's probably, and then you said he had conch fritters.
He's
an islander impersonating himself
from Del Rey.
He's from Del Rey.
This guy's an older guy, raised in Del Rey. He's been in the restaurant 13 years. Cool little place. You know, had great vibe. But I wanted the real menu. I didn't want this. The watered down with 7 items on it, and he had the sauce, which is the pig ears and the pig's feet. But I don't eat pork. So.
Oh my God! Wait a minute, Matt. I just heard what you said.
What?
Oh my God! You might lose some black points.
Why? Did I say it wrong?
Did you hear? Guys, it's Souse, man.
Souse. Okay.
Sauce.
Whatever.
It's
Souse. It had an IE at the end of it. What am I gonna do? What do you want me to? What do you want from me?
You spelled it wrong. Souse rhymes with house.
Okay. Well, it's souse. He had souse on the menu.
Oh God! That's like every part of the pig.
Well, it's the pig ears and the pig's feet. You've never eten that? Come on.
God bless him. My dad used to cook that shit. It was for a special occasion. I want to say it was.
It takes a long time to
black
cook.
People tell me
you have to cook.
2 years or it was something.
Well, you have to cook it for like 12 hours. Really?
But thank you for your experience with the Negro.
But we had fun. L.A. Hardy was entertaining, although he was sitting down, which I thought was a little bit weird.
That's old school.
For a comedian to sit down.
That's that old school.
But it was an intimate setting, so I kind of let it go. And then he went overboard on a couple of things.
Good.
But it was good. It was
That's
fun.
when we like go overboard and push them buttons.
Oh, no, he definitely pushed the button.
He will be on my show. LA will be on my show.
Well, yeah, look at that. November 3rd, the night.
You walked right into that.
The night before my birthday. So we have Mitch Isley, P-Mac, Chris Flanagan. Very funny Southern white guy.
Yes.
They got the white guy.
I'm integrating my show. There's going to be others there.
See No Evil, L.A. Hardy, DJ, SCO will be playing music.
Hot 105 DJ.
Hot 105 DJ. This is a great event, everybody. And this is the Sistrunk Comedy Festival. And it's it's just a great event. It's a great venue at the Lauderhill Performing Arts Center, November 3rd. Tickets are going fast.
This is end of the show stuff. I'm so sorry.
Well, no, because I did the BB20.
We walked right into it.
We walked right into it. We're fine. But anyway, get your Unk Life T-shirts, all that good stuff. We'll plug it at the end, too, because we're good like that. Yeah, we're looking for sponsors. We're looking to increase the production value of the Irregulars. Because I've been seeing, I was watching somebody else today, and I saw the production value, and I said, there's no reason why we shouldn't have that.
Today I caught myself watching one of them little girly, Life Loves Flanagan. And she like Ryan Barrett, too, the other white guy. I'm going to tell you something.
Yes.
I never watch them, but I was midday. I caught myself flipping through some of these girly shows, the View, the Real.
Oh, no, you didn't.
No, because I want to know what's the big thing with the 4 chicks up there. And I'm learning that America, we just want to argue.
Yes.
So you got to have 4 different people, and it just, all we care about right now is debates and arguing. our memories are really short. We don't care. The internet has screwed us up. Somebody can die, get killed. We'll protest for a day or two online, post huge nasty comments. 3 days later, we're back to talking about talk shows, American Idol.
It's life as usual. Look, and here we need to it's a perfect segue into what happened in Fort Worth over the weekend. And again, if you're not aware of what happened, we'll share this with you. But this was tragic. A 28-year-old young woman, pre-med at Xavier University, was playing video games with her nephew, her 8-year-old nephew. And I guess somebody left the door open, and a neighbor called to do a safety check.
Being a good
neighbor to make sure that everything was okay at the house. Police come to the house. Now, what I'm going to say here is that I'm going to completely blame the training of these officers. That Fort Worth and Dallas, Fort Worth, but other areas around the country, these police officers are not being trained properly. For them not to knock on the door and identify themselves, the police are here. Is anybody in the house that's not supposed to be in the house? Put your hands up, because we're going to come in. And why they didn't have more backup if this guy thought something was, or perceived something was wrong, why does he not pull back, and call for backup? They surround the house, they figure it out. No, this cop comes around the back of the house, put your hands up, bang. 2 seconds. Body cam. Within 2 seconds, this guy pulls his trigger.
Now, here's the next thing. He resigned this morning, so he probably going to get his pension.
No, he's not getting. This guy's got to go to jail.
He resigned this morning.
He didn't identify himself as a police officer, and he pulls the trigger within 2 seconds.
I did it. Came out, cut off. Now, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay. I'm trying to think, I'm going back, maybe 30 years when I first started watching news, being conscious when you first get out of college and you think you know everything. After the Rodney King beating.
Oh, I remember that.
I'm trying to think, when did we start?
Lorene joining us. Hey, Lorene.
When did this cop popping start it just seems so common.
It started, I think, around the Bill Clinton era. Like something happened during Bill Clinton's presidency. And it might have even happened before that.
Oh, I know it.
And I think it happened. Look, again, it has to do with the police authority. And I have to say this. I watch Live PD.
Yeah, I love those shows.
I love that show.
48, all those
and
shows.
It really kind of teaches you, don't mess with these guys, because they're putting their lives on the line. And at any moment's notice, somebody could pull a gun on them and shoot them.
I'm thinking, I'm about to go there. What is the makeup of the cop? Where did he come from? Was he an ex-military guy? What was he in high school?
Well,
was he a nerd? Was he a square? Did he get bullied? There's a lot of.
I think a couple of things. I think that. And I think this is more like a.
And we like cops, by the way.
Yeah, I think, but for the most thing is, I think the Northeast. We love you too, Lorene. She's awesome, by the way. Lorene was with us on Saturday night at the show.
She integrated the show
too. Yes.
Right.
And the funny part about it is, she's a Trump supporter.
Oh, that's the girl that raised her hand. LA told me.
But the comedian before this guy, Mitch Hunter, I think was his name. He asked if we have any Trump supporters. Now, there's a table sitting next to us, right? Mm-hmm. Now, they're all church-going people.
Hallelujah.
Now, the one guy leans over to her and says, "Don't worry, we got you. You're okay." So you know that half that table voted for Trump.
We got your back, Lord.
You know half that table, those Baptists, voted for Trump. They won't admit it.
We're more Christian. Black people are more Christian than any Republican conservative walk of the planet. And most of the black people I know don't want free stuff. So we're right in the middle. That Democrat stuff, Jesus, we just right in the middle. Tug of war. It's tough.
But going back to this whole
to
the cop thing. So in the Northeast, New York, Massachusetts, if your father was a cop, there was a 99% chance you were gonna follow in his footsteps. Okay. Yes. Now, playing cops and robbers as a kid, which we used to do, they don't do that anymore because you can't play even with a toy gun anymore. No, you might get shot. That happened to a 14-year-old in the park.
And plus, these kids are soft.
Right. So, but I think playing cops and robbers, there was always that group of you that thought you could be a good cop and you were going to be able to handle the position. And I think that there's an element of guys that become cops that, like you say, were bullied or were nerds or didn't fit the bill. So if I become a cop, I'm now a person of authority.
Yeah, I'm a tough guy.
I'm a tough guy. I'm trained.
And karma's a bitch because I got my gun now. I'm gonna get everybody back.
Yes. Now the question is, will this cop be brought up on charges? Yes, he should. He should, because he followed zero protocol. Not a knock on the door. Hi, the police are here. Your neighbor called. Is everything okay?
We're gonna go really deep now.
Go ahead.
I read some moments. She moved back to Fort Worth to take care of her mom. And you were playing video games with your 8-year-old nephew that you were babysitting. So now we're gonna have 4 babies. He saw his auntie get smoked in front of the cops, 8 years old. So what do you think is going on in his mind, poor kid?
But now, was he at the house or was she online playing with him?
Oh, that's a good point.
I think she was online.
Oh, with her 8 years old. Okay, I hope so. But God,
I don't think the nephew was in the house.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad.
I'm hoping that the nephew was not in there.
I'm pretty sure he's just holding a stick and all of a sudden auntie stops playing.
Now, what's interesting is we haven't heard yet from Al Sharpton or from the Reverend Jesse Jackson on that. But thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Lots of thoughts and prayers.
That till next week.
Thoughts and prayers. But nobody is up in arms about this. This this is not a black issue. This is not a white issue. This is a society issue. This is an American issue right now, that people are dying at the hands of cops for no apparent reason whatsoever.
But we got a guy that can't play football because it took a minute to bring attention to this.
To this, exactly.
But he's unpatriotic, my bad.
Right. He brought awareness to the situation, took a knee in protest, and now he's being blackballed from the NFL. And I'm still hoping to make a comeback.
And I'm sitting there thinking, so do I need cops to protect me, or do I need guns to protect myself? Oh, no. Liberals say that we don't need guns. Oh, we need gun control. Oh, no, we need cops. Oh, Jesus, cops killing people. Oh, but I don't need a gun. Oh, okay. I'm confused. Sorry for ranting.
No, but this is a rant opportunity.
I am so confused.
This is an opportunity.
Do I need a gun? Do I need a permit? Oh no, just call the cops. They'll take care of me. Well, shit, when I call them, they kill me. What do I do? What do I do? Just had the poor girl from Dallas last week. We ain't talked about her no more.
Oh no,
because now we got a new one.
We got a new one. But there's news that they found, I think, 2 of the 3 guys that supposedly killed the now drug deal gone bad.
Yeah,
so the witness in the Gene Botham case, and Botham Gene case, was supposedly a drug dealer now. You can't trust any of them.
But he did have a picture on Facebook.
Frank Rita joining us.
Big brick of marijuana. But I'm pretty sure those kids drove all the way from Louisiana for that good Texas weed.
The good Texas weed, because they don't grow any good weed in Louisiana.
Nah, who cares? Can't get it.
No.
Probably cheaper.
Probably, who knows?
Yeah, had a couple of
so that's an update on the whole Botham Gene witness,
cop killings. Jesus Christ. All right, we got to get back happy because this is depressing.
All right, well, on other news.
Yes.
Other news.
Happiness.
Our wonderful president, since we're talking about him, is gloating a little bit because he's got phase 1 done of a potential deal with China. Hi, Sheila, how are you? That's Michelle's mom. He's got a deal getting done with the Chinese, phase 1 of the trade to
some more made in China stuff.
Well, to heal the trade differences between our countries. Now, here's a thing that's interesting. Some tech stuff, and there's 3 phases of it. And one of the parts of the deal is that the Chinese will agree to purchase $50 billion worth of agriculture from our farmers. Then the president says he's not even sure that the farmers can produce $50 billion worth of agriculture.
Farmers.
Now, what I ask you is, will the farmers have to repay the money that the government gave them? Because we don't want to live in a socialist society, but we will help the farmers out, and then we'll make sure that we pressure another country into buying their goods.
Only they can buy from our farmers right now is CBD.
Well,
we ain't got nothing else.
That's the only thing anybody's
growing. That's the only thing they growing right now. We ain't got no corn. We ain't got shit. But I know that CBD farm.
Plenty of hemp. But hemp's going to cure the whole world.
That's what they say.
Hemp's going to
every day.
You can build a house with it. You can build a house with it. You can make clothes with it.
Old people getting their memory back from smoking.
Yeah. Alzheimer's. It's helping people with.
So the little autistic baby talking. The autistic baby talking. Not gonna take a hit. Now I can talk. Weed. You can achieve with weed. I'm gonna get a T-shirt.
You can achieve with weed.
Yes, you can. They're showing us. Alzheimer's, weed. Autism, weed. It's curing everything. I see.
PSTD, weed.
Screw your plant-based diet.
Weed.
That's the plant.
Hemp seeds. Just eat hemp seeds all the time.
Only plant you need. You don't need no corn. You don't need shit else. You just need weed. I told somebody the other day, you know what?
What?
Long time ago, weed.
We're passionate.
Yes, we are. You remember Cheech and Chong?
Yes.
Their weed, they used to get the munchies.
Yes.
And these new weed heads are skinny, man.
Yes.
They don't eat. They just smoke them.
Well, because there's different types of weed now. See, there's the sativa, and then there's the indica. See, back then, we just got weed that made you like, you know, you just wanted to, like, you were in the couch.
Yeah.
You were like, you weren't going anywhere. Yeah, that was it. Antina joining us. Hey, Antina. Yeah, you got the munchies a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't think these new weed heads get the munchies.
No, because the sativa gives you that buzz, but it doesn't bring you down. It gives you more of like you want to keep going. So you don't want to eat, because when you eat, it makes you sluggish and you fall asleep. So when you don't want to eat.
Okay, you learned that today.
But they're drinking coffee. They're doing other things.
They're putting it in everything.
They're putting in everything.
Gummies.
CBD is in everything now.
Rice Krispie treats.
Really? Somebody posted something about Honey Nut Cheerios, and I looked it up, and I couldn't find out what that was. It was weird. It was weird. So anyway, that's going on with our wonderful president. He's patching relations with China.
Right before I left,
yes,
I was watching the news. They all pissed off because somebody made a video game with him shooting up people.
Oh,
with
yes.
Trump on it, and it was down at Doral, down south, and everybody was all pissed. And he didn't even know. After the White House said, we didn't know. They was shooting up all the reporters and stuff, and they was in the church talking about House of Trump.
Well, truth be told, if he had it, he would ban reporters. He would take away that right. So. Yeah, he would. If he could take away the media, he would. Look, we got to be careful. Look, he's had some good policies that he's made. You know, there's no question about it. Tommy Alexander joining us. Tommy, he's made some good policy moves.
Yeah.
The market has just been steady. It's been where it's supposed to be. It hasn't been great.
Yes.
You know, so look. He comes out with these crazy statements, but what do you expect from a talk show host or a reality show host? Oh, of course, Joe Biden's not going to beat him, and neither is Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, but Elizabeth tried to get the brother Andrew Gillum from Tallahassee that tried to run for governor. So if she get the black man as the VP candidate,
but he couldn't even win the vote in the state of Florida. He couldn't get the black people out to vote. And here, you have a decent amount of black people in the state of Florida. It's not like you're not a big minority here. I mean, you have pockets of this state that are predominantly black. You know, I mean, you take Liberty City and Overtown and Pahopie and Belgrade.
Those people can't vote. But go ahead.
But they can vote, a lot of them. But that's what everybody thought, that the black people were going to come out and vote. Right, and they were going to just push him in office. Look, he won the mayorship of Tallahassee.
Yeah,
and that was impressive.
We'll see. But she says she's going to grab him, and I don't just whip up the black vote.
Because Cory Booker for sure is not. But here's the problem with Elizabeth Warren. Women won't vote for her because she's too far to the left. And getting back to that whole socialistic society, and people say, "Oh, we don't live in a socialistic society." Come on, EBT, Section 8, bailouts to the farmers. Gimme. There's so much. Free health care, Medicaid for the immigrants. Come on. If you think that socialism is not, at some level, is not here in this country already, look, you've completely eliminated the middle class, and that's one of the first things that happens.
I saw that first.
Because you'll have your elitism,
yes,
which is you have your elitism, and then you're dirt poor.
I saw that firsthand. I told you when I went over to Palm Harbor, Florida, to tell jokes last week. I was telling my wife, I said, I see what they're talking about. That forgotten America, the middle class girl. Because all those shows, you even saw Mercedes and Bentleys and Benzes and all the fancy cars. And then the other end, you saw pickup trucks, rednecks, teeth missing, the whole nine.
So America was well represented.
Yes.
During that.
Yes.
And it was funny because the one comic said he loves to wear red hats, and he said he can't wear a red hat anymore. Because everybody associates it with MAGA now.
He's black. He can do whatever he wants. This is a good time to be a Negro. The white people are angry at each other. I've never seen my white friends this angry.
They are, right?
I mean, this liberal conservative thing is better than the Crips and Bloods.
It's crazy what's going on.
Gang. This is gangsters. I'm telling you, listen, you know my son graduated in 2014, right before Trump took over.
Sure.
So I got guys who 4 or 5 years ago, we were sitting in the bleachers together. One big happy family. Go team, go. Now you mentioned somebody around. So, hey, you talked to John lately? Oh, screw John. He's a liberal. I guess that. We were just eating barbecue 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
And now this man.
Singing Kumbaya.
Singing Kumbaya. Go team, go.
Go team, go.
And now I hate him. I unfriended him. He's a liberal. Woo.
You know, that word liberal has just taken on a whole new meaning.
It is.
Liberal has taken on a whole new meaning.
Oh, no. And now we got what is the other one? What is the new one this girl dropped on me today? Because I think you saw it. I put a picture of Pharrell, the old the voice guy.
Right.
And he's on the cover of GQ magazine. GQ magazine with this big yellow, big goofy skirt-looking thing. And they says, "Oh, this is the look of new masculinity." And I was like, that ain't masculine to me. So here comes some chick telling me, he's secure with himself versus the toxic masculinity. What in the devil is toxic My daddy must have been toxic masculine.
I'll tell you because I know firsthand.
Uh-oh.
I have a toxic side.
Okay.
And that toxic masculinity is the power that we, and I'm just going to say this, and I'm probably going to get some backlash for it.
That's what we want. Oh, sorry.
But we as men have lost our masculinity. We cannot be forceful anymore. We cannot be passionate anymore. We cannot be, we know more, or we're better than. That just doesn't exist. We're the stronger sex. That went out the window a long time. We are no longer the stronger sex. And even my own girlfriend, I'll say, she challenges me. She's like, "I kick your ass."
Wow.
I'm like, "Come on, let's go. Put the headgear on. Let's put the gloves on, and let's have a round." Well, yeah, but she's 5'3", I'm 6'1", and I'm gonna be able to block some stuff. She might get a couple of shots in.
You know what? I'm gonna be
But we've lost our masculinity. We've lost our identity as men to some degree.
When you got men that
And I said it.
dresses and the women love this shit. I mean, and
well, you know,
I would just call it what it is. Okay, you said it.
There's funny though. There's a great movie. I wouldn't call it a great movie. Excuse me. It's a movie called Bedazzled with Elizabeth Hurley and Brendan Fraser. Have you ever seen it?
No, this sounds very white.
Okay, it is very white. But she's the devil.
Yes.
He's this dorky guy who has this major crush on this. I wouldn't call her smoking hot, but she was very cute.
Okay.
And she grants him 5 wishes.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of the wishes, he's supposed to be this sensitive, poetic, you know, really soft guy with major sensitivity. So she grants him the wish. They're sitting on the beach and he's doing his sensitive thing. And then she finally says, I can't take it anymore. I just want somebody that's going to talk bad to me and abuse me.
Listen here. I don't want to equate everything to money. But 40 years ago, I don't care if you're black, white, green, yellow, a woman couldn't make more than the guy.
No.
She could be a teacher. You know, she could be a nurse, secretary,
an
as far as she could go. But then, as soon as the tough girls came, Stonewall rights, women's rights, 1969, by the way, I know my history. So that's when they started the tough girl stuff. And then, right around 1995, 96, we started putting it on the screen. The WNBA set it off with that Queen Latifah with them cornrows, gangster, kissing the girls, like gang, 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 gang. And all of them were like, oh, this is pretty neat. And my thing is, why don't we have any upstanding gentlemen lesbians? As soon as they turn tough, they just go, whoo. They go all the way angry and tough. I would like one of them to be a nice upstanding gentleman if you're going to do that. Just
wait, you're asking for a lesbian to be more gentlemanly.
Yeah, they're gonna do it. You know,
so the women are like the manly women, or like the man of the, for lack of a better word, we'll call them the man of the relationship.
Yeah.
The butch, as they call it. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
So you want that person to be more manly,
more gentlemanlike.
More gentlemanlike.
Yeah, they're also tough, and they go straight to the hip hop stud. You know, they sagging pants and the hat backwards. Why don't you wear a little tie and a suit? I want to see you with a little suit and tie.
A little bit more preppy, a little bit more distinguished gentleman.
Yeah, they so thuggy and tough. Just sagging jeans.
I get it.
With the boots, looking like little rappers. No.
I feel your pain.
If I slapped a stud on her butt,
you'd be in trouble.
I'm gay, right?
Well, no.
She's gonna say you punk.
No, what are you?
Punk bitch. What you touching me for?
What are you touching me for? You might get a right cross.
You gay? What you touching me for?
Right. Yeah, that's not a good thing.
No, that's not asking.
That's not a good thing.
Oh.
No.
How do we end up with listeners?
I don't know.
All right, good. Okay.
All right, let's talk some sports. Because there was so much that happened in the sports world this weekend. What's
don't worry.
What are you
looking for my keys?
Oh, okay. You got your keys? You good? What are we doing here?
See, people.
Here we go.
Wayne Sears. This was a green and white house key. It's so old. It used to have a New York Jet logo on it.
Oh, that was one of those.
J-E-T-S. Jets. We got to win last night. We got to win. The Jets won. We beat Dallas. Oh, sorry. I got to get the key. My jet key is faded, babe. We won. That's
okay. But now, we talked about this. Watching that game at the end of that game was absolutely brutal. There were 5 or 6 penalties in a row. I think 4 of them or 5 of them were on the Jets, and one holding call. Giants, baby. The Giants are terrible. Although they played the Patriots tough for a half. But the Jets and Cowboys, it was like, first of all, Tony Romo, okay, and Troy Aikman should never, ever, ever do Dallas games because they are such Dallas homers. It's not even funny. Shut up, Tony Romo. Look, you never won a Super Bowl. At least Troy Aikman won a Super Bowl. Okay, he won 2 of them. I think either 2 or 3. But anyway.
And Jerry Jones, it was his birthday yesterday.
It was his birthday. The NFL, they were looking like they were going to gift wrap this thing for Jerry Jones.
Yeah, they tried.
And one of those pass interferences was ridiculous.
That's why I almost grabbed my TV.
I wanted to grab my TV, and I'm not a Jet fan, and I'm not a Cowboy fan. I'm a Cowboy hater.
I'm a Jet fan. My family was very concerned about me yesterday. It was a lot of yelling. I was very.
But the Jets, look, they played well, and they almost blew it because Adam Gase doesn't. Adam Gase does not have the killer instinct as a coach. He's a clown.
Oh,
they won in spite of him. Okay, let's just tell the truth. The Jets won that game in spite of him. Now, Greg Williams dialed up some nice defensive stuff, and the defense played well. But I got to say, the Jet uniforms are horrible. The new helmets.
He needs a white privilege t-shirt.
Oh, he's terrible. No, he just needs to wear. I coached Peyton Manning for
1 year.
One year. And it made me millions of dollars.
Oh, my God.
Thank you, Peyton Manning. I wonder if Peyton Manning's on his payroll.
And I think Jerry Jones, I'm waiting on that to come out that Jason Garrett's son. They got the same little bags.
Well, he won't fire him. He said it's done. And even if you read some of the stuff that Jerry said, and he was on the radio last night after the game, he said, I'm not putting all the blame on Jason Garrett. He said the blame is on all 53 players and coaches.
He's got a bastard kid.
You think so?
Look at the bag.
I know. There is a very strong resemblance. If you look at Steven, I think it was Steven.
Look at him. Yeah. Watch him back now. Look at him.
But Jerry's son, Steven Jones, right?
Yeah.
His son is the heir apparent. Him and Garrett they look like they could be brothers. That's very careful. So in more NFL news, because the NFL had a very interesting day yesterday.
Yes.
Houston goes into Kansas City and pulls what would many to be considered a major upset because now Houston is now 4-2. But look, going into that game, Houston's draft choice was number 10 or number 5 or because the Tunsil trade with the Dolphins.
Oh yeah.
See, the Dolphins had to be rooting for the Chiefs hard because if the Texans don't do well, that only gives them a better draft choice.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with the Steelers. They traded away Fitzpatrick. And here, the Steelers go into San Diego and beat San Diego at San Diego. Hey, Trevin Harrison, what's up? Now, that was like a home game for the Steelers. The Chargers are in big trouble, and so are the Rams. Because, look, at the end of the day, nobody gives a rat's ass in L.A. about the NFL.
No. The Jets game, it was 50-50. Dallas had just as many fans as the Jets. A lot of franchises, a lot of have and have not franchises. But, like we were saying, even the Redskins, they had a boatload of people at Miami Dolphins Stadium. Some teams just have a heap of fans.
Well, Redskins they're passionate fans. And in the Tank Bowl, what a disgusting display. Neither team could get a first down. I think it took till like a couple of minutes into the second quarter before one of the teams. And come on, that was disgraceful yesterday to go for 2. I mean, come on.
I'm a brother, and I'll be looking at the brother from the Dolphins. I'll be like, man, get his ass a coordinator.
Look at the play they call. He had no chance of scoring on that play.
My pro brother.
0.
He be looking like, damn. My pro brother just be looking. But you think Jason Garrett needs to go? Travis,
he's a Cowboys fan, and he needs
Jerry love that bitch.
He loves Jason. Because you know why? Here's why he loves Jason Garrett. Because Jason Garrett is your typical yes man. Man. He's not gonna cry about the players that he gets. But at the end of the day, he's gotten some good players. Now, it doesn't help that Amari Cooper goes down. Yeah. That doesn't help.
You don't have the whole left side of your line. I gotta give him a look.
Oh, come on. But the Giants were missing 65% of their output of their offense on Thursday night. Every team is going through injuries at some level or another. Here, look at the Jet defense, missing Mosley and the other guy. He is too much of a
Yeah,
player's
he wants
coach.
to be their buddy. There you go.
That's a good point.
But shit, Trevor, I just talked to a friend of mine who coaches high school ball, and he's ready to quit. He just like, Chris, you just can't talk to these bitches no more like you used to.
No.
I can imagine what it's like now to a pro who's getting money.
Oh, forget
But
it.
I mean,
Well, look, they can only practice on certain days.
yeah,
now.
you can't discipline.
You cannot do any physical contact during the week anymore. Once spring or fall training is over or preseason training is over, there's no physical contact.
SJ Gruden, shit, he said Adrian Peterson the first game, bitch, you're fired. Adrian ran Sunday.
Well,
Guess
look,
who runs the league?
But listen, wait, the Dolphin run defense is the worst in the league.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, come on, you and I could have run through those holes.
We can't discipline nobody.
Nobody.
Not in
2020. You
2019,
cannot discipline these guys. And now Antonio Brown wants back in the NFL.
Hey,
Because he realizes how he screwed up. But here's the thing. He won't apologize. Hey, look, if I heard this guy say this, and everybody says that locker rooms are the most forgiving places in America, which is probably pretty true. Because at the end of the day, if you can help us win,
they don't care.
I don't care. I don't care who you're banging. I don't care what you're doing unless you're banging my girl.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Hey, Jim Hughes, congratulations on the move back to Texas. We miss you here in Florida.
Yes.
But, yeah, you listen, the locker rooms are very forgiving places.
Listen, my thing is,
And now he wants back in. But he won't come out and say, I did wrong.
but they did him wrong. The girl lied on him. Jesus Christ.
Maybe.
Ruined reputations of a lie.
Yeah, but he didn't do it right either. Come on.
That's true, but she lied on
It takes two to tango.
The Patriots got rid of him because of the off the field stuff. Had nothing to do with the football.
And he will get back in and play just because a douche. But if you're winning games, then it doesn't
matter.
Look at the Patriots. They look. Love him or hate him, Bill Belichick is a win at all cost kind of guy.
Yes.
And those kind of coaches are very rare today.
Yeah.
And even Sean McVay with the Rams is having a difficult time with a win at all cost attitude as a young guy. Like he doesn't have he's young. He's in his 30s. He doesn't have the Belichick legacy. Look, Belichick had already won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants before he had gone to the Patriots.
My thing is with these type coaches, like you said, there's no accountability. They can't step up to a guy because he might go on Twitter and embarrass him and demand a trade or some shit. So you can't even talk to these kids. Adults, excuse me.
Yes.
The kids.
But they are kids. They're 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. They're, in the pros, they're one and done. So if you're 18, you go to 1 year of college, you're coming out in the NBA, you're 19, 20 years old. You're a baby, and they're paying you millions of dollars.
But the NFL, they got to stay 3 years. Those are men when they get there.
Yes, they are. They're in their 20s.
Those coaches are just, oh my God, bitches, man. No, Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer will not coach at the next level.
No,
for sure.
No control.
No control, exactly.
He can't talk to them guys.
No way. And I think that's why he stepped down in Ohio State, is that he saw that his methods, he was losing traction.
Yeah, that old school shit, don't cut it no more.
Look at Chip Kelly.
You can't do that shit.
Chip Kelly out of UCLA having a hard time. Brian Kelly, Notre Dame's playing good football, but he's had to soften up a lot.
Yeah. You can't do what you used to do.
You cannot.
I look at some of them old films when the coach grabbed the guy by the jersey or grabbed him by the face mask and give him his shit. You do that today, that's lost.
I got whacked on the side of the head by coaches. Grabbed by the face mask, dragged down.
Are you really ill because of that?
No.
Traumatized?
I probably am a little
Got traumatized?
A little bit.
PTSD? PTSD?
A little bit.
Coach gave you PTSD?
Tom Walkstetter joining us.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, Tom. Now, Tom played high school football with me. We had a coach, Maitland, who was an absolute lunatic. He would grab you by the face mask, and all bets were off.
That was old school.
Yep, old school.
I wonder when that stopped. Around 80s, 90s? When did it get stopped?
It stopped when everybody plays, everybody wins.
Yeah, participation. I coached
Nick Saban. But even Nick, but here's the thing. But Nick Saban, okay, again, is like a Belichick. So he's going to get that athlete that can handle that toughness because that athlete probably had one of those high school coaches that is still tough on their kids.
And
But then again, Alabama's just getting the best athletes. They have the best. Look, there's no pro. This is my thing on Alabama. There's no pro team in Alabama. There's no pro sports team anywhere. That is a college team. That is their pro team.
Yeah, and he gets paid
$11 million a year.
And Mr. Harrison, I actually know kids on that team. He same as a dog. He'll call you out in front of everybody. Oh, so your shoulder's still hurt? Get your soft ass out there and play. You letting the team down. He that guy. He'll play.
Yeah, and why do you think that a lot of these Alabama players come to the pros and they break down?
He burns them the F out.
And again, everybody's on the Tua bandwagon, but I like the kid Joe Burrow from LSU.
Yeah.
That kid was 21 to 24 against a tough Florida defense that shut Auburn down the week before. Come on, he's throwing to wide open guys. One guy wasn't wide open. Ridley ran a bad pattern, and Tua lost his shit on the sideline.
Harrison, you are absolutely right, Trevor. I just told a friend, it's maybe 5 college programs that have a chance to win the national championship. Yeah. All the rest of them are just fielding the team and making money because, oh, by the way, parents, your little funky tuition doesn't pay for shit.
Yeah, but you can't.
Saturday nights.
You gotta put LSU in that conversation.
Yeah, they're gonna be there.
Listen, all right. Now that he brings up Georgia, we got to talk about this because South Carolina upset Georgia at Georgia between the hedges. And if you follow college football, at Sanford Stadium in Athens, they have a hedge that goes all the way around the field. Yeah. So you're playing ball between ex-Ohio State back, yes, and he's having a great year. Between the hedges. So South Carolina goes in there. Helinski, their starting quarterback, who's their number 2, okay, because number 1 already went down. Yeah. He goes down, I think, late in the first half, knee injury. Yeah. Quarterback number 3 comes in. This is at Georgia, a 2-3 Carolina team that struggled. And Jake Fromm, who's one of those quarterbacks that everybody's touting.
Great guy.
He's got a great arm, thow. He threw an out the other day.
3 interceptions to the same freaking guy.
That's bad.
He made one man beat them.
That's bad.
3 picks. One guy.
That's
made that
bad.
Man a first-round pick.
That's bad.
He made him a first-round pick.
Terrible.
Overnight.
Now, after the game, South Carolina players started ripping off and taking pieces of the hedge, taking a souvenir. And today on ESPN and in the media, whatever, the South Carolina AD offers up an apology. I'm sorry. We're sorry. We shouldn't have done that. The Georgia AD, yes, that was inappropriate and very bad, and we're very upset about it. Tough crap, Georgia. You don't lose. You're not number 3 in the country. You lose to an unranked South Carolina team with the number 3 quarterback. I have no problem with those South Carolinas taking a little bit of the hedge home with them. South Carolina? Well, Florida's beat up right now. After Auburn, but hold on a second. Auburn, they got beat up. That was again a South Carolina. That was a trenches game. They got beat up. LSU is physical. LSU, and now I'm going to tell you something. Things are going to line up pretty well for LSU because they play Mississippi State. Then I think they play Auburn. Then they have a day off. Let's see, they missed out on Justin Fields because he is far by the time the country. Jalen up there, but I think Justin is unreal. Look, the guy's played out of his mind. But then again,
he could beat out Jake.
But wait, Trevin, who has Ohio State played? They haven't played one defense yet of any caliber.
And they never will because they're in the Big Ten.
Penn State has a good defense.
They'll see a national championship because they play no one.
But then at the end of the day, Ohio State always gets beat in that semi. They got abused 2 years ago.
And they'll be there because they're going to be undefeated with playing nobody.
So getting back to I have no problem with the South Carolina players. Look, it's good. Wisconsin defense pretty good.
Ohio State, Clemson are already 2 of the 4 teams.
Yes.
The other two will be
destroyed Florida.
The other two will be SEC teams because all of them got to beat each other up. And so it's going to be the Alabama LSU or the LSU or whoever comes from the West. It's going to be.
Now, watch out for Boise State, though. Watch out for SMU.
Please.
Watch out for Baylor. These are some undefeated teams making some noise.
But Wisconsin is doing pretty good.
There are two toughest matches will be Wisconsin and
both of them are undefeated, sitting right in the middle of the top 10.
Right there.
So the Big Ten is going to shake themselves out of this too.
Yes.
They're going to beat themselves up out of this.
Yes. All right, moving on.
Yes.
We have to talk about this because we're almost out of time.
Yes.
We have to talk about Anthony Davis.
AD.
The savior of the Los Angeles Lakers. Not LeBron, but Anthony Davis. 31 years, what's he, 28 years old now? I think 26 years old. Been in the league since 2012, and I'm going to read this off. 82-game season, 64 games, 67 games, 68 games, 61 games. Now, the last 2 years, or the last 3 years, 75, 75. Last year, though, because of all the issues, only 56 games. Against the Nets preseason, in a preseason game, he got a thumb boo-boo. And he had an MRI today back in LA, and we're not sure of the results yet. If anybody knows what happened with Anthony Davis, the Lakers are in trouble. Because you got a LeBron James who's definitely, I don't care what you say, he is not the same LeBron James.
I'm 35. He's doing movies and hanging out. I want to say.
But did you see his hairline?
Oh yeah, he got one of them fans.
He got one of those. He fixed his hairline up nice.
That's the biggest comeback ever.
Real nice. His hairline.
That's the biggest. Because
it was gone.
It was gone when he was 23.
It was gone.
Biggest comeback in NBA history.
LeBron's hairline.
Yeah.
And we're going to leave you with that. You got 51 minutes of the Irregulars. Let's talk a little bit about. Let's bring it back. We got November 3rd. Get your tickets. The Lauderdale Performing Arts Center. I will be there with Michelle.
Yeah, birthday.
We'll bring some of our other white friends.
There's going to be a lot of white people there. I have white friends buying.
The next day is my birthday, November 4th. So this will be a fun night.
Yes.
Friday night at the Lauderdale Performing Arts Center. What else is going on this weekend?
Oh, Jesus. I got a show in Pembroke Pines with the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. I will be doing a fundraiser.
Oh, you love doing those.
I'm doing a private birthday party on Saturday for a friend of mine that I grew up with all the way back from middle school. Rodney Toots. We're going to get you. They want you to get roasted. You don't know that yet.
And then the Unk Life T-shirts.
Unk Life tees everywhere.
Up to 5X.
I got up to 5X. My dog's in Palm. I just picked up some today. My dog's in Palm Harbor.
I think you should have some red ones.
Magna, Unk Life?
Magna, yeah.
You sit in the trunk.
I think you should.
I'll take it right to Doral.
I think you should. I think you should make a red Unk Life. I think you should make some.
What is our friend, your buddy up there? She'll buy one.
I know she will. Don't forget VB20 Studio in Delray.
Can't wait. I'll be there.
Wait. Coming soon. And then also one other thing that I want to mention is I started a fundraiser last week.
Yes, you did.
For the Florida Children's Theater. And I got to say this. I've never, ever really gone out and raised funds for any organization, but this organization is near and dear to my heart. They're moving into a new space. They're one of the oldest nonprofits in the state of Florida. They do so much for the community. Please go to my Facebook page and look up the Florida Children's Theater, FLCT, and throw us $5, $10. I know I said we're trying to raise $2 million. But if we can raise a couple of $1,000s for this organization, every little bit helps. So please do your part there. If you enjoyed the show, please share it because sharing is caring, and we care a lot about you. We really do. So I want to thank my partner, Chris. I'm Matt Posner. We're the Irregulars. We'll see you next Monday, 7 o'clock. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Woo!